Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just getting down to our last two Legion Boss ship comparisons. Which ships work the best for these Legion bosses up to this point? And a lot of players say Sirene is the choice to get maximum points on this Legion boss. This is the only one that I've heard of everybody saying, nope, it's Irene, it's Irene, it's Irene. So, again, me personally, I've just been kind of, for what I have, of course, I got a 5-star Conquer, pretty loaded, fully loaded, and then I do have the Phantom, but I just been going out for what I have to see if this is true. And some of my ships, and again, my Thor main gun is only one rainbow. And so, just going back to all the discussions and the other ones, don't be afraid to try these because you might be surprised. Just because you think you have a lower ship than what you already have does not mean that it might not work better. So, again, you guys need to be testing this just to, maybe you're missing points that you don't know about because you don't think it's going to work. So, don't be afraid to take whatever you have, beginners to middle players to even high players, and trying these tests. I mean, that's what it's about. We're trying to get the high score. So let me go back here, and I've been showing you guys my technologies, and I've been kind of scooting these around just a tiny bit here and there through each Legion boss, and I'm going to do a little bit more of a middle ground. Sometimes I'll do 45, sometimes I'll do 35, and right now I have it on 40 on defense. Now, if you're just going after Legion boss, there was a good question a couple days ago. Do I have to have defense on? And absolutely not. If you don't expect to get hit, put it towards, if you're trying to get the absolute maximum points that you can get, put it towards your weapons or put it towards your damage increase. And then for me, average between 65 and 75 with my tech points that I'll use on this. And so I have it at 70 this time. And then I'm going to, of course, drop it into my main gun. We've talked about the main gun attack rate for Titan. It does not seem to have any effect, and that's why you guys don't see me put the main attack rate on. But for other ships and Legion boss, it does work. So, but I do set this up a little bit more for me to doing Legion boss and Titan combo. And I've said this again, this is not a horrible all-around tech setup. You can play Planet Wars and Star Scramble pretty successfully. Will you beat the biggest guy doing it this way? No. I do have a different Star Scramble and Planet Wars setup video that you guys can look at. But all around, if you're not wanting to spend tons of diamonds all the time and resetting per Legion boss and just the other things, this would be a pretty dang killer tech setup. So, and of course, you see I've got my main guns maxed out. Now, I will put just a little tiny bit, regardless of what I just said about the main gun attack rate, I still do put a tiny bit of tech on that. I will put a little bit of tiny tech onto my wing gun regardless. And always, regardless, unless you're just a firm believer, I'm doing Legion boss, I don't need the armor. I always max out my armor base, no matter what I'm doing, especially on Titan and especially in Planet Wars and Star Scramble. And then, of course, you see I've got my missiles pumped up here. And for me, guys, and this is just me, again, if anybody has a better tech setup, if anybody knows something that maybe I don't, and after hundreds of tests and, trying to narrow this down, this is a little bit more for the Conqueror. But again, everybody else in other ships are having high success rates with, generalized tech setup that I've been showing here. So again, if anybody has a tip, please let me know. And so the Legion boss that we're doing is what? It is an aerial. So you can see I do have it set up on the correct tech for aerial. And then don't forget your gems, guys. Always check your gems. And so we'll go and check the gems. And of course, I do have it on boss because those are my stronger gems. And the Legion boss and Titan is a boss. And then, of course, here we go. I do have the aerial gems in correctly. And again, setting up your gyms that way, guys, just put in your strongest gyms that you have between, if it is a Legion boss and you have better boss, put your boss in. If you have more aerial, again, just put in your best gyms. And that's pretty easy there. And so I don't think I ever show you on the Legion boss, but you guys can hit your power on your pilots, and when you go to power in that right hand corner there, it's going to show you your most powerful pilots. That way it's easier to figure out who should I be using. And I don't get too caught up on the pilot thing. I think you guys have heard me say that a lot in even past videos. You put on your strongest pilot for the most part. Some are going to argue, hey, that's an energy, and this is, you can test that yourselves. But me personally, I play with my most powerful pilot. Again, all of these pilot attributes, they all apply to all of the pilots. So if that's the case, use your best pilot. So mine, as of right now, is Freya. I'd love to get Artemis and Hanzo. Actually, that's the other cool part about the power for me. Not in all cases, because if you're putting, power into a bunch of these pilots, it's going to show you your most powerful. But for me, if you look at my pilots right here, I've got it to where they're all almost awakened. And the ones that aren't have what? High star value. Now, by me hitting that power, this is telling you right here what pilots you should be going after. I think I will go after Artemis. In window, though, that's my second most powerful pilot, even over Hanzo there. But look at Hell. Right here for me, just to give a little quick, this is just something I was realizing the other day too, is, who do I really go after? Who am I wanting to go after? Artemis is the hit factor. So I really want her for that. But right here, guys, bonus damage received from aerial enemies, including players, is reduced by 17%. But right here, again, you guys can just use mine and see the star values here in power. Now, this is power. So right here would be the list of who you need to go after and who's pretty important and who's going to give you what. But right here, going down that rows, this is who you guys should be going after. Freya for dodge, Artemis again for the hit. A lot of these other players here were for against players. Gunload is a wing gun pilot, but let me tell you what, she had really been a great pilot. I didn't know the wing gun was, the weakest, but for some odd reason, she was one of my easier ones to go after, and I never regretted it, even though we know the wing gun's the weakest, but she is a pretty dang powerful pilot regardless, and so I never regretted going after her, just between us. But here's a good list, guys, of who do I go after? What rows should I go? Who's more important? And for me, I think it would be Freya, Artemis, and then it's debatable between the rest of these, but Hanzo again. That list right here showing you guys who you should be going after first, technically. Now, I'm not saying that the missiles and the main gun and things like that aren't important, because those are important. But again, when we're playing this game, especially on a team, what are we doing? We're playing against players. And so for me, if I was a newer player and I was wanting advice, do your missiles, do your main gun, but I would go after exactly what you guys are seeing right here. Against players, Freya has been my favorite pilot out of them all. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So not to get into a huge pilot thing, huge, but I just wanted to, I haven't shown you guys my pilots and kind of my food for thought on this in a little while, but hopefully that helps some of the newer players, and showing the gyms and, just going over your technologies. Every time I'd go into the forums again, I would just get really, really bad advice. I think I had somebody just put a comment on just recently saying, you know, everybody's telling me not to put any technology on, put it all in the weapons, put it into all ships, and you guys already know how I feel about that. That is a huge mistake. We know that the technology, all in all, after all the technology videos I've put out there and testing, they do work. They work better than the all fighters. Now, personally, go after maybe a first couple of your all fighters. That is, it is proven that some of those do increase your hit value, but it just seems like it just caps off after a while. And I would put my coins and stars into technology. And in some cases, well, not some cases, always go after your weapon, of course. But, you know, for your weapon, you can still have your coins. You're still going to have stars. Put it into technologies, guys, just to answer that question that I was asked. But, okay, so we'll get back on target here. Of course, we'll start out our test as we always do with the Conqueror. And we'll see if we can get the high score. But again, Sirene is supposedly the player's choice of maximizing your points on Chimera here. So, but let's do this because I had another request actually with Sirene here. And so we're going to do this one just a tiny bit different. We know the spread shot is not as powerful as the Vulcan cannon. I call it straight shot. That's just me, guys. And so I am going to straight shot this, and I am going to play this as if I'm going for the high score, because we are going for the high score. So you saw me buff the armor. Again, for the new players, you buff your Conquer armor because it's supposed to give you an increase to your hits and point value. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is true. Maybe I shouldn't even say this in the video, guys, but there's supposed to be a major update going on here. And on a Read It post, they're saying that the Conqueror might be nerfed. I don't know how true that is, but if that happens, there is going to be some really upset players, including myself. So maybe I shouldn't be saying what I'm saying, but in another post, somebody said it had already happened on some of the overseas servers. So I don't know how that's going to be possible, if that is possible, if it's just a rumor. But yeah, if that happens, I can see a very big storm brewing. There's supposed to be just, again, some huge overhaul updates to this game. So I also had that question recently yesterday. Do you know of any of the updates? And none of us can say officially what's going to be true and what's not true. I did hear that the drones might come back, and you know, there's possibly 60 drone pilots, and there's been all kinds of crazy speculations and rumors and stuff like that. But again, you heard what I said, speculation and rumors. But if they nerf the Conqueror, I'm going to be a very upset player, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton of other players that are very upset. So everybody's on the edge of their seats. Nobody knows factually what's going to happen, but it sounds like something big and gigantic is brewing for this game. So just hang in there, and I guess we're all going to figure out what's happening here soon. So I think the update might be tomorrow. And so, but okay, here's my Conqueror run, guys. 136.1 B. Not too bad. Not too bad. And so we're going to move along here. And so everybody's always screaming what, guys? The Thor main gun. And again, as proof to all the other players. Now look, guys, I have basically a rainbow Thor weapon, and You would think, well, the Conqueror's got to be more powerful, and I've proven several times that's not true with the Thor, because again, on the Legion bosses especially, you're hitting multiple targets versus a single target or some of the targets with the spread shot on the Conqueror main gun. So don't, again, hesitate to just try these. You have nothing to lose and possibly everything to gain here. Okay, so you see I have that, but now we're going to do it with Phantom. And so always go back and just make sure everything's loaded in here, guys. And let's try it with the Phantom. Again, the only thing I don't like about the Phantom is how long it takes to charge for what we would call the Furious or the transformation of the ship. But Phantom is a pretty amazing ship, though. So let's give this a whirl. But you can see that Thor main gun, I mean, it is just hitting every single aspect of the Legion boss. And that's why this is a player's choice of using the Thor main gun so much. Onto especially the Legion bosses. Now, the Thor main gun is not the most powerful gun. It's not. But when you're hitting multiple targets, when you have multiples hitting decent, it adds up more to even a more powerful weapon. That's how that works. But see, the only thing, again, it just takes forever. And this is a short run Legion boss, and it takes forever to get that charge up. And by the time it charges, you're pretty much already done with the boss itself. But right here, though, I mean, this just blew the Conqueror out of the water. So right there, guys, I mean, a Rainbow Thor versus a 5-star Conqueror main gun. This just blew it out of the water. And again, everybody screams Sirene on this. But, I mean, if you're using, obviously, if you're using Phantom, I mean, you're getting some points there. So definitely Phantom over the Conqueror on this one, big time. So let's go ahead and change this up just a tiny bit. I am going to change to Sirene here. And again, and again, going back over that again, I say it all the time, guys. Don't just jump in your stuff. Maximize each one of these as much as you can go. You do want to do that every single time. Auto upgrade. The reason why we're doing auto upgrade on this one for sure is the main gun attack plus 15%. So you do want to go, and you can see here, I didn't arm it. So if I went and just started playing, I wouldn't have had this armed. So let's arm this. I'll go back over to my equipment, and you guys can see right here, Sirene and the Thor main gun. But I have a couple of plays on this, and I had a player request to use the Conqueror main gun versus Thor. So let's do it the way everybody says to try it. And their favorite is to do this. I love the Sirene, but I don't like how, okay, how do I explain it? That you need to get it almost down to 0-2-0 to get your 50% bonus. Again, this game's really big on hurting yourself to get these big bonuses. And again, I played a little bit more safe. Yesterday's Legion boss, I think I got it 2-0 exactly for some of the players that scream you're not doing it right. You need to be at 0, but not yesterday's, but the day before's. But that's a risk. I don't care what anybody says. That is a risk. This isn't a risky Legion boss. This is probably the easiest Legion boss out of them all. But you will always see me kind of playing this a little bit safe with Sirene. I'd rather get through it with points than to die trying to maximize my points. Because if you keep dying, guess what? You're not helping out the team, and you're not helping out yourself. So I'm always really cautious. But again, Sirene's bonus is you can get your health back, or you can hurt yourself to possibly get the 50% bonuses. Okay, so I'm going to have to be careful here. And that's good enough for me, and that's what I'm talking about, guys. I'm not going to sit here and completely try to get to that 0, because that's pretty scary. And you could get hit while you're in this transformation, but you see it slowly goes down anyways. Sirene does some damage, though. And look at here, guys, right here. Sirene would be the correct. I mean, look at that. Absolutely 110% correct. The players that are screaming Sirene on Chimera are 100% correct. And again, I don't have a fully updated ship, guys, versus I've got a 5-star Conquer fully loaded ship, and Sirene not completely upgraded with a Rainbow Thor is stomping the Conquer. So for all of you thinking, well, I don't have the ship and I don't have the stars, again, throw that in the trash. Stop saying that. Go out and try it. Again, you might be missing out on some major points here, not only for yourself but the team. So, but I've got a couple more plays here, guys, and so I'm gonna. I had a player say Sirene and the Conquer main gun, and so let's just see what happens. I mean, I have a couple more, and I do listen to your guys' requests, and I do try to throw these videos. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I do listen to your guys' requests, and I do read all of your comments. I do try to respond to everybody. I do watch your videos too, so if you have something cool or something you're wanting to show me here, please send it my way. Let me do this real quick, guys. So I'm going to reset Sirene here. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So we're going to keep Sirene because that's part of the test here. Excuse me. And we have the Conquer on. The main gun. I'd like to get that fully updated, but I think we'll be okay. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm just going to reset this for a second. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. No, I'm going to reset. Phantom. All fighters wing gun. So I'm just going to bring this back up just a little bit, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing here in a second. I'm going to get this to the 60 mark here. I'm going to auto upgrade, and the reason why is I want this wing gun attack 5% all fighters. I'm going to go back to Sirene here. I'm going to fully evolve it, but I'm trying to steal some stars to get my Conquer main gun all the way up here. Should be pretty close here. Okay, 360 on the main gun to do this test. Okay. Let's go back to Sirene. Okay. So we'll do a spread shot version of this, and then we'll do a straight shot and see if we can beat, what was it? Let me see here. Yeah, it was like 230 something. So that's a pretty big score to beat. But this has been a couple of times that somebody has said, put the Conquer main gun on Sirene and try it. So finally, I'm going to do that. Why not? We have nothing to lose here. Let's do the test. And again, we'll do the spread shot with the Vulcan cannon, and then we'll do the straight shot with the Vulcan cannon. And again, we're in Sirene, so you're going to see me taking some hits, try to get it down as much as possible. And I can already tell you guys, I was looking at the score and looking over to the side, and absolutely not on the spread. 0. I don't usually, especially on Legion Boss and Titan, even use the spread. And right there, you guys see there's not even a close comparison. So I don't even care about really dying there. But again, that's the thing with Sirene. I mean, you get it down and you take one shot and it's over. So I always try to be really careful with Sirene, especially trying to get it to that 0 point to begin with. I'd rather have some points than no points. But we do have one more. Let's do the straight shot this time. I've had a couple players beg me to do this, and let's do it. But definitely not the spread shot. Now again, with the spread shot, you would think, you know, because it's hitting multiple targets, it'd work like Thor, but it is the weaker of the weapon itself. And so again, the Vulcan cannon straight shot will be what we'll try this round. And this time we really are trying to get the highest score, so I'll be a little bit more cautious here. Let's see what happens here. Now again, with Sirene, by getting it as low as possible to even 0, you're supposed to get a 50% bonus to your hits here. But we can see, you know, in no way, shape, or form is the Conqueror main gun even coming close. The Conqueror itself was pretty respectably 132, 134, something like that. So, but nope, it's the Thor main gun and Sirene for sure on the win for Chimera here. So that is the correct ship to be using on this. And again, guys, you know, I always say this at the end, don't be afraid to try something new. You guys are even always seeing me try something new in the videos, taking the request, trying crow, and, you know, just don't be afraid to try things. I mean, that way you just know for a fact, and then you're not listening to somebody saying, oh, I know this is true, I know this is true, and, you know, all you have to do is say, where's your video evidence, prove it. And a lot of times they're just going to keep squawking that they know. And that's what I love about doing it this way, is we have the video proof. You guys can go out and make your videos. You know how to make the videos. You know how to do these comparisons by watching these videos, and get these answers yourself. Don't worry about relying on somebody so much to doing it. Of course, I'm going to give you guys the best answers possible. So, you know, don't get me wrong. Ask me the questions. Ask somebody that's reputable into it, but you sometimes be surprised that you might still get the wrong answer. So again, don't be afraid to try these yourselves. You know, no matter what level you are, throw the ships on. You have nothing to lose. And again, I say it all the time, and potentially a lot to gain by doing this. So the biggest thing is, guys, have fun, and let's see what the heck is going to happen with this update. Again, everybody's on the edge of their seats, and I don't have the right answers. I don't think anybody does until we get the update, but cross your fingers for a lot of great things to happen with the game. And until next video.